Right now, we're taking a look at the newly approved Dane County budget and the impact it will have on your family's wallet.
And as record-breaking cold sweeps across Wisconsin, we're telling you about resources available to those in need and shelter for the cold.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now This Morning.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us on a Tuesday morning. It is November 12th. I'm Josh Breiter.
I'm Leah Lynchai. The top story of the morning, yet again, the weather. Miss Hattie McLean talking about record-breaking cold.
We did it, guys. Set a new record this morning.
Yay, congrats.
Is that a yay?
Yes. No one likes to say, oh, it was the second coldest ever. November
We're
12th.
already this cold. We might as well break a record.
That's right. Setting new records is never fun. It's uncomfortable one way or the other, but it is a new record low for us here in Madison this morning. Still have 2 alert days in the forecast for these record cold conditions today and tomorrow, and then also looking like there's going to be more likely chance for some light snow to impact the afternoon commute on Wednesday. So keep that in mind. Plan ahead. That's Wednesday evening. For us right now, though, that's the full moon. Clear skies. Temperatures still at 5 here in Madison. Northwesterly winds, though, around 10 miles an hour, make it feel like it's almost 10 degrees below zero. Here's a look at those current wind chill numbers, ranging anywhere from 3 above to about 12 below this morning. So bundle up as you head out the door. Wind chills will stay below zero through most of the morning, only climbing to about 10 above later on this afternoon. Now let's take a look at those first alert traffic maps. Here's a live look from the DOT cameras. East Washington and Dayton streets. Any roads that were cleared yesterday are going to be in good shape this morning. It's those side streets that might still have some snow and ice on them, and the sidewalks, so be careful for those. No major delays just yet on the Beltline. We do have some slowdowns, though, starting to form at the Beltline and Stoughton Road. No other accidents still to report around Dane County.
Yeah, those sidewalks, driveways, certainly very dangerous this morning because there's no chemical out there yet. You know, that start of the season is always the most dangerous, and you're just not ready for it.
And it's too cold anyway. The salt wouldn't work on the
ice.
ice.
At these temperatures. I slip-slided my way right into work this morning.
Yeah.
Hopefully that sun will help us out a little bit, too.
It should.
All right, Hattie, thank you.
You're welcome.
So as temperatures plunge across our area, staying indoors and warm isn't always an option for some people.
But there are resources available to help. Keely Arthur joins us live from downtown Madison with a breakdown of what they are. Keely, good morning.
Good morning, Josh and Leah. Yes, I am live at the Beacon, and this is one of those resources. This is located just off of East Washington Avenue, and normally they open at 8. Today, though, they're opening an hour early so people can get in away from the cold, grab a hot cup of coffee, maybe take a hot shower upstairs. They can even look for a job. Now, of course, this is far from the only resource in our community. In terms of overnight shelters across the street, women and children can head over to the Salvation Army. And then for men, there are 3 emergency shelters as well. For men, that is the largest population of homeless in our area. And there is Grace Episcopal, St. John's Lutheran, and First United Methodist. This is how it works. Everyone checks into Grace, each showers, they can do their laundry. And then at 8 o'clock, night managers will walk groups to the 2 other churches if there is an overflow. And there certainly has been this week. 70 people can be housed at Grace Episcopal, 60 at St. John's, and 35 at First United Methodist. And even though we are barely in the season, it has certainly been a busy one so far for these places.
With this early onset of winter, we're seeing that our support services that Porchlight provides and other facilities here in Madison being stressed with the cold weather and the unseasonably early snowstorms that we've had.
Now, each man is allowed 90 nights total a year at these shelters, but they do make exceptions. Once it reaches 20 degrees or below in terms of wind chill, they'll let anybody in, which is always great. And of course, like we mentioned, these places are already really stretched in terms of their resources. Porchlight is asking you, the viewer, to maybe donate some coffee, some sugar, some blankets that can be washed. And then the Beacon is looking for things like gloves, thermals, hats. They actually just did an amazing drive with Madison Gas and Electric where 90 pairs of socks were raised. 900 rather, not 90. We need way more than that. There are 4 other bins over in the other room. So lots of good happening already, but a big need still. Josh and Leah?
All right, Keely Arthur live in downtown Madison this morning. Keely, thanks.
Into the Channel 3000 Alert Center overnight. Taxes will be going up for most people in Dane County after the county board approved its 2020 budget.
While the tax rate is dropping, rising home values mean the average homeowner is going to see an increase of around $25.47 on their property tax bills. The budget includes more than $1 million in new spending for mental health services across the county and more than $1 million toward the Salvation Army's effort to build a new shelter on East Washington Avenue. The county will also be investing millions in flood prevention.
Happening today, there will be a public hearing to discuss Madison's operating budget for next year. It highlights investments in youth community centers and transportation. In total, the budget hits $340 million. That's about $8 million more than former Mayor Paul Soglin's budget last year. That money, however, does not account for new officer hires. City Council will decide whether to approve that budget by the end of the week.
Right now, a Republican lawmaker is bringing back a resolution that would officially make the evergreen in the state capitol a Christmas tree. Governor Evers is calling it a holiday tree. Representative Scott Krug's resolution to call it the Wisconsin State Christmas Tree can't pass before the holidays since the Assembly's last 2019 floor session is today, and co-sponsors have until Friday to sign on to the proposal.
The Wisconsin Agriculture Secretary has a new job this morning after the GOP-controlled Senate fired him. Brad Paff has been hired as the Director of Business and Rural Development for the State Department of Administration. This comes less than a week after his confirmation was rejected. Republicans were upset with Paff because he criticized them for not quickly releasing funding for farmer mental health services.
Happening today, advocates are preparing to march around the country, including Madison, for immigration rights. This comes as the U.S. Supreme Court will decide the fate of nearly 700,000 Dreamers who were brought to the U.S. as undocumented children. The Trump administration is trying to roll back the program, but lower courts have ruled against those efforts. Madison advocates are meeting at the state capitol today at 11:30.
In just a couple of hours, the Lafayette County Land Conservation Board is set to vote on a resolution that would prosecute journalists if they edit or only use excerpts from upcoming news releases on a water quality study. Previously, County Attorney Nathan Russell said that vote would not happen, but as of this morning, the resolution remains on the committee's agenda. Russell has since acknowledged the meeting was still on and apologized for the, quote, confusion. Legal experts say this resolution is clearly unconstitutional.
The Iowa County Sheriff's Office is searching for a caller who reported a fake crash. A business in Dodgeville called to alert authorities of the alleged crash. According to a Facebook post from the Sheriff's Office, the business said a caller began ordering food and then said they were just involved in a 3-vehicle crash with people trapped and injured. First responders were unable to locate any crash and say the phone number used to make the call was fake. Anyone with information is asked to call police.
911 dispatchers now have a new tool that allows them to track callers faster and more accurately than ever before. The Janesville Gazette reports dispatchers in Rock County can start a search for the cell phone within seconds by keying in the phone number. A Google map with a dot representing the phone appears almost instantly. Then the dispatcher can track the phone's movements. The service is free to all registered 911 centers.
An area high school is working with the police department after learning of a hate speech Instagram account featuring the school. A screenshot of the account was sent to the Cap Times. It was called Madison West Whites after Madison West High School. The school sent out a letter to parents over the weekend saying the account has been removed and officials are taking appropriate steps with those involved. The school emphasizes the page was not created by West students. The McFarland teacher accused of sexual assault and child enticement is due back in court this morning. Andrew Meeks faces charges of first-degree sexual assault of a child under 13, enticement, causing mental harm to a child, and exposing a child to harmful descriptions of sex. Court documents allege Meeks inappropriately touched a 12-year-old boy, talked to him about sex, and taught him how to find pornography on his phone and hide it from his parents. Meeks used to teach at Wabisa Intermediate School in McFarland. He now faces more than 100 years in prison if he's convicted on all those charges. 6:09 right now. Since 2016, the Oscar Mayer plant on Madison's north side has stood vacant. Coming up, we're taking a look at how city planners hope to revamp the former city staple.
And Hattie is going to tell us when the next time will be above freezing. Hint, you might want to settle in for the long haul. Her Alert Day forecast is next on News 3 Now this morning.
This portion
Good morning from the patio with about 3 inches of fresh snow on the ground and clear skies. It is a very cold start to this Tuesday morning. Record cold, in fact, here across southern Wisconsin. Take a look at the snow depth. Hard to believe that we're already showing this map. Seems like last year we were wondering whether or not we were going to have a white Christmas, but right now it looks like a white Thanksgiving if things aren't going to change at all. I know we have warmer temperatures in the forecast, but at this point we have about 3 inches of snow on the ground in that dark blue shaded area. That does include areas just south of the airport here in Madison to southeastern Wisconsin, right along the Wisconsin-Illinois state line. Lighter amounts, again, of course, as you head northward, and actually no snow on the ground in the Northwoods. 2 alert days are still in the forecast. We have those cold conditions this morning, record cold temperatures here in Madison. Wind chills are in the single digits to around 10 degrees below zero. Now tomorrow, confidence is increasing that we are going to see some light snow develop in the afternoon, and this will likely impact the evening commute. Here's your wind chill chart for the day today. Temperatures are hovering right around 5, and with a wind chill, a wind of just 5 to 10 miles an hour, that sends those wind chill numbers into negative territory. Again, keep in mind, this is pretty early in the season to experience cold like this. Our bodies aren't used to these temperatures, so again, dress accordingly today. Protect that exposed skin. Don't spend too many hours outside if you can avoid it. Current conditions early today as the moon sets. It's a full moon today. 5 here in Madison. Northwesterly winds, though, at 9 make it feel like 9 degrees below zero. I'll look at our other current temperatures. Platteville and Janesville now. You guys are the coldest spots in the area. Janesville has dropped to 1. It's 1 in Platteville, 3 in the Dells, Monroe, and Mineral Point. Still 5 here in Madison. Winds, though, are from the northwest, and that is sending those wind chills in all locations below zero this morning. Here's a look at your wind chill forecast. As we head towards the lunch hour, those wind chills will be back to around zero, only climbing into the single digits above zero later on this afternoon. Our forecast then, as we head towards tonight, calls for more clouds. So temperatures will drop into the single digits early on, then actually rise overnight. So it won't be quite as cold tomorrow morning. Look at that snow. Here is 1 p.m. We already see some snow spreading into our northwestern viewing area. It moves across southern Wisconsin through the evening. Total accumulations around 1 to 3 inches, so not a major snowstorm for us, but enough to make travel messy once again. We have then quiet weather and finally temperatures above freezing by the time we get to the end of the week. Let's take a look at those traffic maps now. We'll send it over to Jason Stone for all the details. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning. Nothing of concern on the Beltline as all lanes are at the posted speed limit. Also, routes into Madison and around Dane County are good to go. Traffic is light on the roads for commuters heading downtown and those traveling on the Isthmus and campus at this time. With your first alert traffic, I'm Jason Stone.
Good news for drivers this morning, Jason and Hattie. Thank you very much. City planners are looking to transform a Madison staple and give it a new purpose. The Oscar Mayer plant on the city's north side closed in 2016 and created a big employment hole. Now city staff want to use those buildings that are still there to create a space for retail, commercial, and residential purposes. They're hoping this will help bring new opportunities to the area.
Employment's always been a big focus, not just the employees that were lost at Oscar Mayer, but all those local businesses that those neighborhoods supported. So maintaining the area as an employment center moving forward is certainly very important.
The city is also interested in changing Packers Avenue. They want to make it more of a residential street that is pedestrian friendly. The planners don't expect this to get passed through City Council until the beginning of the year, and until then, they're happy to hear what Madisonians think about their plans.
A historic beer company that started in Wisconsin is headed home this morning. Pabst Brewing started in Milwaukee in the 1840s. It's currently headquartered in Los Angeles, but is slated to move the majority of its production to the City Brewery facility up in Crosse. The company's website says the move will be done by 2024. The agreement lasts until 2040. Exciting for that city.
That is fun.
All right, 6:17 your time on this Tuesday. The record-breaking cold is sticking around today, but we're looking ahead to Thanksgiving and asking our Chris Reese if we can expect at least a little warm-up before the end of the month.
And our First Alert weather team is looking ahead to that and keeping tabs on your alert day. But hey, it's nice to see the sunshine out there.
I'll take it.
We will take that sun. We'll be right back with your alert day forecast when News 3 Now This Morning continues.
Cobra
All right, so not everyone is disappointed with an early winter. Beefcake the Bison appears to be thoroughly enjoying himself over at the Henry Vilas Zoo. Zoo staff sent this video out on social media yesterday saying, quote, "Beefcake wins best in snow."
I love that name.
I love it.
So clever. He's the cutest little guy.
He's made for weather like this.
Hattie, doesn't this just send you back to Yellowstone?
It does.
Oh, buddy.
It does. So, I was hiking and we ran into a bison on the trail.
Oh, man.
Was he shaking his hair like that?
No, it was, he was very calm, but I was terrified. You don't want to come face to face with a bison.
Quite the beefcake.
I feel like a beefcake many days. So.
You don't have the hair for it, I'm sorry.
Oh, my gosh. Well, we got the snow yesterday, and now we're talking about the cold.
We are definitely talking about the cold. All the layers needed today. Let's take a look at your forecast. These are the weather headlines for the rest of the week. I know it's only Tuesday, but looking ahead to the rest of the week, we do have more snow coming in late on Wednesday. Before that snow arrives, though, just the cold conditions. Sunny today, but all the layers needed. It is a record cold start to the day. Let's take a look at our current temperature readings across the area. Temperatures are in the single digits. Platteville now updating to 0. So where is the bottom there? 3 in the Dells, still 5 here in Madison. Anywhere you look, though, across southern Wisconsin, it feels very cold. It feels like it's in the single digits below 0. Our wind chill trend is going to keep us below 0 through about 10 o'clock. We then improve just to the wind chills in the single digits above 0 through the afternoon. So bundle those kids up as they head to the bus stop. It'll be a little deceiving. We have a lot of sunshine in the forecast today, but our high is just 18 degrees. That is well below normal for this time of the year. Stay warm today.
All right, Hattie, we will try our best. So we already had a cold and snowy Halloween, and now a lot of people are also wondering about Thanksgiving and if it's going to be much of the same.
Chris Reese is here this morning to tell us if we'll have to bring those extra layers to our Thanksgiving dinners. What do you think, Chris?
I want to say, well, I'm not sure yet. It's still far away. But we're going to go ahead and begin to look that direction just to see how things may play out for us. Typically around Thanksgiving, highs are in the low 40s, lows will be in the mid 20s, but we've seen the extremes. We've seen Thanksgivings as warm as 64 and as cold as -5. We've seen snowy Thanksgivings, and we've seen very rainy, wet Thanksgivings. One of those most recently was back in 2015. You got over an inch of rain. Temperatures were in the 50s. It's also the warmest Thanksgiving we've had over the past 5 years. You go towards last year, things were fairly chilly. Temperatures were in the 30s and 20s. No rain or snow, though, for last year, 2017 or 2016. 2014 is the coldest Thanksgiving we've had over the past 4 years. The high, or 5 years rather, the high was 23. You also ended up with about 1/10 of an inch of snow. So now, let's look at the pattern. What happens 30,000 feet above our heads does ultimately control what happens down here on the ground. And what we're watching is that cold air will be on the move away from us. Look for warmer temperatures to start developing throughout the western part of the country. That heads our direction as we get closer towards Thanksgiving. And while, yes, we will see at least some shots of cold, they will not be as extreme as the cold shots we have seen as of lately. We are looking at perhaps the chance for warmer air to continue to dominate the pattern. In fact, this is the next 8 to 14 days. So we have to get through the cold that we're in right now. But once we get beyond that, we begin to warm up. And as we go towards perhaps late November, I mean, check out the dates. That's the 19th through the 25th. It is probable for the entire country, including Alaska and Hawaii, to be above normal in terms of temperature. So fingers crossed for that. Perhaps we can do, a little like back and forth, a white Halloween, warm Thanksgiving, and then a white Christmas, because I've still never seen one of those.
Beefcake the Bison's not going to be too happy about this warm-up.
Well,
I'm keeping my fingers
can't
crossed
make
for this
everyone
warm-up.
happy at this point. At least some folks will be. I'm more like beefcake, though.
I was going to say,
Yeah,
you'd prefer to be out in the snow, rolling
snow.
around. Yeah, I
That's
don't blame
me
you.
when I'm not here at work pretending to be professional.
And while he's at work. Yeah.
Well, he's at work. It doesn't matter this time.
All right, thank you very much, Chris.
My pleasure.
All right, still ahead for us on a Tuesday morning. We've got the top 3 things you need to know before you head out the door.
Stay with us. News 3 Now This Morning is back after the break.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, folks, and thanks for staying with us on this Tuesday, November 12th. I'm Leah Lynchide.
And I'm Josh Spreiter. We'll get to meteorologist Hattie McLean's record-breaking cold, which is one of our top 3 things to know this morning. But first, property taxes for people in Dane County will be going up after the board approved a $663 million budget. The average homeowner is going to see an increase of a little more than $25 per year due to property values going up. The Madison City budget is also going to be decided on this week. There's a public hearing to discuss the operating budget today.
The second story we're following this morning, former President Jimmy Carter is set to undergo surgery this morning to relieve pressure on his brain. A spokesperson says it was caused by bleeding from recent falls. The former president was admitted to Emory University Hospital in Atlanta overnight. At 95 years old, he is our oldest living president.
And it is another alert day across southern Wisconsin as we wake up to temperatures below 0 in some areas. Hattie has more on what you can expect and just how cold it could get in her alert day forecast. Hattie, good morning to you.
Good morning, Josh and Leah. Well, it certainly looks nice outside with that fresh blanket of snow and clear skies this morning. Beautiful sunrise coming up behind me on the Edgewater Skycam, but you need to bundle up. Scrape alert in effect this morning. It is very cold outside, but the air is very dry, so you may not need to scrape too much. You could just let defrost do it this morning, but there is a little bit of frost on the windshields. Here's a look at our current conditions. Temperatures are in the single digits above 0 in most spots. Platteville this morning is the coldest, down to 0 there right now. Wind chills, though, will be a factor through the day as temperatures only climb into the teens. We still have a northwest wind this morning around 5 to 10 miles an hour. That's enough to send those wind chills down into the single digits to around 10 degrees below 0. So again, got to bundle up as you head outside this morning. Protect yourself from the cold. Here's a look at your first alert traffic maps this morning. Roads are clear. If they were treated or cleared yesterday, no issues. Looks like some of those main streets, this is Washington and Dayton, travel still going at posted speeds. Any untreated sidewalks, parking lots, or side streets, though, will be slippery and ice covered this morning. No major issues showing up just yet here in Madison. Looks like travel is still going at posted speeds on all those major routes into the city. And that's your first alert traffic.
Hattie, thank you. Coming up on 6:31 right now, we're waking up to cold temperatures on this alert day, but we're also expecting it to be a dry day.
The same can't be said for our fellow Wisconsinites up north, though. Folks in Guile, up in Iron County, got almost 10 inches of snow yesterday, and they're waking up this morning to a forecast with 4 to 8 more. A snow spotter with the National Weather Service says a squall came through yesterday. Chris Reese tells us to think of it like a sandstorm, but with snow. For many residents up north, lots of snow is expected, so the cold temperatures are the biggest concern.
If the weather isn't enough of a sign that winter is coming, the state DOT says the Merrimack Ferry will be closing in less than a week for this season. The final crossing will be at 9 a.m. next Monday, November 18th.
The latest round of winter weather means loose leaf pickup is being delayed in Janesville this week. The city announced the change of plans on Twitter. Due to the unseasonal snowfall on Monday, they had to delay loose leaf pickup to staff the plow trucks instead. All pickup dates have been pushed back by 1 day this week across the city. If you have any questions, you're asked to call Janesville City Services. All right, 6:32 on your Tuesday. The Arctic blast continues, not only here in Wisconsin, but really across the entire country.
The coldest air of the season is coming to the eastern two-thirds of the U.S. Snow is already falling in some states, and the National Weather Service says more than 300 cold temperature records could be broken or at least tied by tomorrow. Roughly 70% of the U.S., about 240 million people, will have below freezing temperatures tonight and into tomorrow morning.
I've been here 60 years. I've never experienced winter coming so early.
I'd say too early. I'm not a fan of snow, so I bet too early. I feel like we just skip fall.
Yeah, we agree. Too early for this. Winter storm warnings and advisories stretch from Colorado to Maine all the way down to northern Florida.
In less than 3 months, Iowa will kick off the presidential primary season with the first caucuses and the first indicator of who voters will support. Youth turnout saw a significant boost in 2018, and now many are looking to see if Gen Z will show up next year.
I think, honestly, it's a really good thing that we have a lot of candidates running right now because a lot of students, they have more candidates to identify with.
I think the youth vote really does hinge on who the Democrats pick.
The Pew Research Center finds Millennial and Gen Z voters will make up nearly 40% of the electorate in 2020.
All right, 6:33 right now. Coming up in the morning sprint, we're bringing you the very latest from overnight as more than 100 missiles fall on Israel from the Gaza Strip.
And we are breaking down what labels to look out for when you're trying to shop healthy for your family. That's coming up on News 3 Now this morning. We are following breaking news this morning just into the newsroom within the last few minutes here. Crews in some Prairie are responding to a fire in this record-breaking cold in the village of Bristol. No one was hurt. We do have a crew headed there right now. We will, of course, bring you the latest as we learn more right here on the show and over on channel3000.com.
More news now. Starting today, Verizon users and other subscribers will be able to access Disney+. You can now find all the classics like Toy Story and Aladdin, in addition to more from Pixar, Star Wars, Nat Geo, and of course Disney, as well as original content like a live-action Lady and the Tramp and also an original Star Wars series. An added bonus, the company announced the movie Avengers Endgame will be available to stream a month earlier than planned.
I am definitely splurging for that.
This is what I'll be doing later today, especially on a cold day like this.
Yeah.
All right, 6:37 right now. Health-conscious food shoppers usually want to know if what they're buying is organic or whether animals have been raised humanely.
Important stuff for your family. Labels can make that tricky, though, and not all products meet the same standard. A nonprofit looked into some of the claims that are made on the labels and found that those labeled non-GMO are the ones you really want to be buying if you want to avoid genetically modified foods.
They really should look for that non-GMO project verified seal, which has meaningful standards behind it and good verification requirements. For example, sending samples of the food to a lab to make sure it is non-GMO.
Now, for those of us who like to shop organic, Consumer Reports gives the USDA seal an excellent rating. You have to be careful, though, with natural or all-natural labels, since they mean different things for different foods, and they're not regulated by a government agency. All right, Josh and I are heading the road for Thanksgiving in just over 2 weeks now, and chances are you are too.
Of the millions of people traveling to get home for the holidays, 58% are planning to drive, while another 35% fly. The best place to go? Well, apparently not Highland or Litchfield.
What?
I know. Most folks are destined for New York City, Boston, LA, or Miami. If you're flying, the average cost for a round-trip ticket right now is $450.
I'm sorry, if Highland isn't your destination, you haven't had my mom's pickle roll-ups.
Oh, that sounds yummy.
Tasty.
I'm coming over. All right, trending now, a new online poll shows 68% of Americans secretly dislike classic Thanksgiving food, but they plan to eat it anyway out of tradition. So here's the breakdown. 29% of people dislike canned cranberry sauce.
Including us.
I can agree with that. And 24% don't like green bean casserole. 22% eat sweet potatoes or sweet potato casserole, even though they don't like it. 21% eat pumpkin pie, but don't enjoy it. And 19% don't even like turkey.
I'd like to meet someone who doesn't like
What
turkey.
in the world?
What?
Now, speaking of that canned cranberry sauce, the poll also found nearly a half of Americans say it is, quote, disgusting.
Okay, so I've been thinking about this all morning, and I'm thinking if I actually didn't like those foods, maybe I would eat less on the holiday and feel a little bit better.
Why, like one of those, like, why would you eat pumpkin pie if you don't enjoy it? Why put the calories in?
There are plenty of other things on the
Are you
table.
afraid you're going to be judged by the family? I don't know.
Or
like,
eat the rolls, maybe.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, the cranberry sauce I can get behind, but everything else, just get in my belly.
Oh, fascinating. All right, 6:40 your time now. We always ask you to share your morning with us. We're going to take a peek at what Mel sent in. Clearly knows me pretty well because they sent in this stunning, stunning barn shot.
Another Leah Lynchide special here on News 3 Now this morning.
Boy, I am so typical.
Yes, you are. Typical farm girl. We love you, though.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
And we love this photo. Mel, thank you so much for sharing. You can see all of even the snow cover on there, too. Very picturesque. If you've got a picture that you'd like to share with your morning, please do so. We know Leah loves all of those barn pictures, those farm pictures. I'm more of the lake kind of a guy.
We're
I feel like we
predictable,
kind of encompass Wisconsin.
Yeah,
so
we do.
We got it all covered.
Send
so you
them
can
our way.
send it to us on our Channel 3000 Facebook page.
All right, record-breaking cold. That is the first alert today from our weather center. Hattie is making sure there are no surprises as you head out the door and layer up on your Tuesday. Coming up in her alert day forecast.
Good to see some sunshine out there. But first, if you have a little kid turning 3 soon, please let us know so we can show their picture on TV and celebrate with them. Thanks for watching News 3 Now this morning. We'll be right back.
Look
Okay, so I've been thinking about singing holiday jingles all morning, but this does not call to mind how cold it is outside.
I know, this is like what I like to call a picture window kind of a forecast, because it looks good when you look outside. Like, you look at the sun, you think like, oh, it's got to be a great morning, and then you step out the door and it's like a slap to the face, that cold.
I'm thinking there might be a little frost on your window too, Hads. What do you think?
Definitely a little frost. I can tell you that when you step outside, your nostrils kind of freeze a little bit together. So
things you need to know right there.
Yes, yes, it is cold outside, but skies are clear. Here's what you really need to know. Bundle up this morning. You'll need all the layers. Record cold temperatures here in southern Wisconsin this morning. Our old record low 7, we are 5 now in Madison. We do have some more snow in the forecast. It starts Wednesday afternoon and continues through the evening. We're looking at a 1 to 3 inch snowfall, but it will impact the afternoon commute. Dry for the end of the week, and finally, temperatures climbing above the freezing point on Friday. We drop below freezing Sunday evening and will stay there until Friday. Now, speaking of above freezing, take a look at the current temperatures in Alaska this morning. Anchorage International, it's 35. Kodiak's at a balmy 46. Even Fairbanks is warmer than we are here in Madison. Fairbanks is 8 degrees right now. In Madison, it is 5. We're not alone, though, with these cold conditions. 10 below in International Falls. Omaha is 8. It's only 12 in St. Louis. So what is very impressive with this latest storm system that brought the snow yesterday is the expanse of the cold air, how much of the country it will cover today. At least we have the sunshine, though. We have high pressure building in. Skies are clear all around, so no clouds in the forecast for the day today. Here's our next weather maker, though. It's already on the map. It's that area of low pressure in Canada. That'll be our next clipper system bringing that snow on Wednesday. If today's a travel day for you, here is the forecast. Not bad in California. Some sunshine in San Francisco. 78 degrees. That would feel nice. 42, though, in Dallas. Look at New Orleans down to a high of 46. Atlanta, 48. You have to get all the way into Florida, so you see temperatures in the 80s. So that cold air really diving southward and covering the entire eastern half of the country. Here's a look at our view this morning from Platteville. Clear there as well. Snow on the ground, though. It's not going to go anywhere. Temperature in Platteville is at 1 degree, 3 in Mineral Point, 1 in Janesville. Juneau, you're at 4 this morning. Here in Madison, we've been holding steady for the last 90 minutes or so at 5 degrees. Wind chills, though, for the entire area are below 0 this morning. So bundle up. That wind chill forecast is not very impressive today, staying below 0 through the morning, only getting into the single digits above 0 later on this afternoon. Clouds rolling in tonight. We'll start tomorrow with cloudy skies and temperatures in the teens. Here's noon tomorrow. That snow starting to spread in from the north. It does cover southern Wisconsin through the evening and comes to an end by midnight. Total amounts, though, are going to range from 1 to 3 inches with this next snow event. Here's a look at your extended forecast. Pretty excited about the 30s and even 40s in the extended forecast heading into next week. So it will slowly warm up just a little bit. Here's our pet walk forecast.
Oh.
Bella Mia in Poynette.
Buddy.
Is that a throne? I think it is for
I
Bella.
do believe so.
That's a fat cat.
That is a fat cat.
Bella's going to be curled up. Let's be honest. Bella's going to be taking a long nap in the sunshine today.
We're getting into that comfort food season,
Yes.
too. So, Bella, you just keep eating.
That's right.
Girls
I know how
ready
you
for
feel.
Thanksgiving. Thank you, Addie.
You're welcome.
Stay with us for the morning sprint up next.
At
It's 6:51, time for the morning sprint with the most local news to start your Tuesday.
And we begin with breaking news out of Sun Prairie this morning, where crews are fighting a fire in this record-breaking cold weather. The call came in around 6 this morning in the village of Bristol. Dispatchers tell us no one was hurt, but we do have a crew headed there right now, and we'll bring you the latest on channel3000.com.
It is a record cold start to this Tuesday morning. Skies are clear, sun coming up. Enjoy that sunshine all day, but bundle up. This is what it feels like outside this morning. Wind chills are in the 5 to 12 degree range below zero. We're not going to see a lot of improvement on those numbers today. The actual air temperature will only climb into the upper teens this afternoon. Wind chills will stay in the single digits. Stay warm.
Thank you, Hattie. As temperatures plunge across our area, staying indoors and warm isn't always an option for some folks. The Beacon Day Shelter in Madison is opening early this morning to get people out of the colds. Other shelters, like Porchlight, waive restrictions when the wind chills drop below 20 degrees at night. Shelters across the area say they really need donations this time of year. We have information on how you can help up on channel3000.com.
The latest round of winter weather means loose leaf pickup is being delayed in Janesville this week. The city announced the change of plans on Twitter. Due to the unseasonal snowfall Monday, they had to delay loose leaf pickup to staff the plow trucks instead. All pickup dates have been pushed back by 1 day this week across that city.
The Arctic blast continues not only here in Wisconsin, but across the entire country. The coldest air of the season is coming to the eastern two-thirds of the U.S. Snow is already falling in some states, and the National Weather Service says more than 300 cold temperature records could be broken. Roughly 70% of the U.S. will have below freezing temperatures tonight into Wednesday morning.
Property taxes for people in Madison will be going up after the board approved a $663 million budget. The average homeowner is going to see an increase of a little more than $25 per year due to property values going up.
Madison City Council will decide whether to approve its 2020 budget by the end of the week. Today, there will be a public hearing to discuss the operating budget. It's seeking $340 million. That's $8 million more than former Mayor Paul Soglin's 2019 budget. This budget highlights investments in youth community centers and transportation, but it doesn't account for new police officer hires.
The Wisconsin Agriculture Secretary has a new job after the GOP-controlled Senate fired him. Brad Pfaff has been hired as the Director of Business and Rural Development for the State Department of Administration. This comes less than a week after his confirmation was rejected. Republicans were upset with Pfaff because he criticized them for not quickly releasing funding for farmer mental health services.
The McFarland teacher accused of sexual assault and child enticement is due back in court this morning. Andrew Meeks faces charges of first-degree sexual assault of a child under 13 and enticement, among others. Meeks used to teach at Wabisa Intermediate School in McFarland. He faces more than 100 years in prison if he's convicted.
A Republican lawmaker is bringing back a resolution that would officially make the evergreen in the state capitol a Christmas tree. Governor Evers is calling it a holiday tree. Representative Scott Krug's resolution to call it the Wisconsin State Christmas Tree can't pass before the holiday season, since the Assembly's last 2019 floor session is today, and co-sponsors have until Friday to sign on to the proposal.
The U.S. Supreme Court will decide the fate of nearly 700,000 Dreamers who were brought to the U.S. as undocumented children. President Trump is tweeting this morning saying many of the people in DACA are, quote, far from angels. The Trump administration has tried to roll back the program, but lower courts have ruled against those efforts. Madison advocates for DACA are meeting at the state capitol this morning at 11:30.
Former President Jimmy Carter is set to undergo surgery this morning to relieve pressure on his brain. A spokeswoman says it was caused by bleeding from recent falls. The former president was admitted to Emory University Hospital in Atlanta overnight. At 95 years old, he is our oldest living president.
More than 100 rockets were fired from Gaza into southern and central Israel this morning. Islamic jihadists have been responsible for all of those rocket launches. 2 people were injured when a rocket narrowly missed their car as they were driving in the eastern outskirts of Ashodo, the United Hatzlah Emergency Service says.
The Iowa County Sheriff's Office is searching for a caller who reported a fake crash. Now, according to the Sheriff's Office, the business in Dodgeville said a caller began ordering food and then said they were just involved in a 3-vehicle crash with people trapped and injured. First responders were unable to locate any crash and say the phone number used to make the call was fake. Anyone with information is asked to call police.
An area high school is working with the police department after learning of a hate speech Instagram account featuring the school. A screenshot of that account was sent to the Cap Times. It was called Madison West Whites. The school sent out a letter to parents over the weekend. They say the account has been removed and officials are taking appropriate steps with those involved. The school emphasizes the page was not created by West students.
Madison city planners are looking to transform the Oscar Mayer plant on the city's north side. That has been closed since 2016. City staff want to use the buildings that are still there to create a space for retail, commercial, and residential purposes. They're hoping this will bring new opportunities to that area. The planners don't expect this to get passed through council until the beginning of the year.
A historic beer company that started here in Wisconsin is coming home. Pabst Brewing started in Milwaukee in the 1840s. It's currently headquartered in Los Angeles, but it's slated to move the majority of production to the city brewery facility in La Crosse. The company's website says the move will be done by 2024 and the agreement lasts until 2040.
6:56 now. Let's check in with Jason Stone with a final look at your first alert traffic. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning. The westbound Beltline is slowing down at Stoughton Road to West Broadway. All other lanes are moving without delay. And it's all clear on John Nolan in both directions. With your first alert traffic, I'm Jason Stone.
Jason, thank you. And a live look at those commute times this morning had you a lot better picture this morning other than that cold.
That is true. We have mainly clear roads in southern Wisconsin, clear skies as well. Take a live look from the Edgewater Sky Cam. Downtown Madison, sun is up, skies are clear this morning, but it is a cold day today. Temperatures are in the single digits above zero this morning, a record cold start for the day. Temperatures will only top in the upper teens this afternoon, but wind chill will be a factor right through the day. Alert days in the forecast for today and tomorrow. Keep in mind that we do have some snow spreading in Wednesday afternoon that will impact the afternoon commute. Then finally climbing above freezing on Friday.
All right, looking forward to that warm-up.
I know, can't believe that is a warm-up for us.
Thanks, Hattie.
Thanks for joining us this morning. Stay tuned for that breaking news of a fire in some Prairie. We'll have the latest up on channel3000.com.